Hey everyone, I hope you're having a blessed day today. Full transparency, I was feeling a mess and I decided, you know what? I have no reason to be feeling like a mess, so I'm gonna get dressed, put on my earthy brown energy that's been like making me feel so happy. I'm gonna have this conversation with y'all. I'm gonna go to a cafe and I'm gonna work on some poems. Alright? But I really wanted to focus in this video worth money and entrepreneurship. Just thinking about how I started my workshops back in 2018, and I used to charge $10 for 2.5 to 3 hour workshops that were in depth in community building, healing, and writing, and also exposing writers to different amazing writers and artists and critical thinkers, musicians that all inspire whatever the theme of the workshop was. And I remember charging $10 because I felt like people wouldn't come, you know what I mean? Like people wouldn't pay $50 to come to my workshop, or wouldn't pay $150 to come to my workshops, because it's like this is an experiment. Though I've been teaching and working with all different ages, particularly young people, for 3 years at that time, I was like, this curriculum and this style of cultivating curriculum that I'm able to do with spirituality, with poetry, with medicine, with community, like this gift that I'm able to conduct in other spaces, but within such like strict limitations. I wanted to be able to do this under my accord, my direction, and under my own company. I wanted to be able to say, this is what we're doing, this is the intention, because I saw the vitality and the importance of not just centering the craft of the writing and if folks wanted to publish or perform, like that's just important too, but I was thinking about sustainability. Like, how does the writer feel about themselves in that moment? How do they feel about their writing in its first draft? Capitalism has a way of bleeding into art, into making folks think that you have to be pounding the pavement 24/7 with everything, especially even art. Art can be spiritual. Art can be vibrational. It doesn't need to be this type A left brain logical structural experience where you have to be writing every single day, dedicating different hours of the day so rigidly. And I'm a poet, so maybe that's the reality of other genres of writing. But as a poet, my lived experience has not showed me that as the universal truth, because there are multiple and many truths for everyone, especially creatives. We all have different processes, and I felt very bombarded by this idea that I needed to be grinding with my writing and my work, and I need to be producing and putting out. And honestly, that's not always true. Today, I got on my email and I was not inspired about anything on my to-do list. I was like, this just making me feel crazy because I'm not inspired. I don't have motivation. But then I was like, you know what? Let me lay down. Nat ministry vibes. I lay down and I was like, what would bring you joy? And I was like, getting dressed up and going to a cafe and taking just my journals with me. No laptop, no nothing, just my journals. Reread my work, rewrite my work in my journals by hand, revise the work on paper, be in journey and relationship to my work. That's what's going to bring me joy. So I'm on my way out and I was like, you know what? Let me actually talk about this relationship that we have to our art form in terms of grind culture, but then also self-worth. So needing to grind, right? Needing to go hard, and then also not valuing yourself. Charging $10, knowing damn well a 3 hour experience is not $10, especially if you don't have any funding. I had no funding. Still don't have any funding, you know? Um, and that desire of wanting to make things accessible is so important, but we also need to reconsider that we all have buying power, no matter what economic bracket you're in, racial demographic you're in, we all have spending power. And we value other brands like Nike, Balenciaga, etc. And folks are allowed to buy whatever they want. We can all spend our money where we want. But don't assume just because you want to heal and engage in art that that's going to be at some sort of discount. You know what I mean? Like, if folks are charging $150 for a poetry workshop, to understand that it is labor. It is not only, at least for me, it's not only a labor of love. It is spiritual attunement and alignment that it takes to do that work, to be tapped in, to be able to be clear about what is my intention as a vessel, It's also the art of building community and safe space. There's so many components that go into facilitation that just isn't the poem and folks writing. For me, it's so much more than that. And I'm on this journey. I haven't figured out still what exactly is the method, but I've recognized that I only charge $10 not because I wanted to, but because I believed that was what I was worth. That is what I believe people were going to pay to participate in my vision. Now that I want to start charging more, I know that it's going to be a bit of an adjustment because folks were used to a certain bracket price for my workshops, but also recognizing like my goal is sustainability. My goal is generational wealth. And this vision is such a huge, huge, huge labor of love that is full of ups and downs, peaks and valleys, right? Last week I had such a productive week. We celebrated LLP turning 5. I was out here on social media, sent my newsletter, which took me like 2 days to do. And then, it's a thankless job. There was no direct deposit yet. There was no direct deposit yet. And come weekend, I was in a space of anxiety and scarcity. Because this is the work, this is the journey of entrepreneurship, and it really stems from realizing like, one, there's some ancestral DNA / information that does not necessarily belong to me. These ways of thinking that limit my belief in what I'm able to acquire, my worth, what is my birthright financially, and really contending with this reclamation of what I'm deserving of, and also staying grounded in God's highest plan for me. So if you are an entrepreneur who are thinking about launching some sort of project, product, service, really reevaluate why you're putting the particular price that you're putting. Because my vision is to get such large funding that LLP workshops are free forever. That is my long-term vision. But I recognize I'm one person right now. That is not possible in my goal of sustainability, specifically economic stability. So particularly, I'm even really talking to our Black women and women of color entrepreneurs who already are in a society of misogyny, sexism, patriarchy, etc., and how that plays and informs our daily lived realities and sometimes our choices, to just really take some time to sit with yourself and ask yourself, am I fully valuing myself? Do I see my own process? Do I see my own commitment to the work, whether in that hitting the ground on the pavement or laying down to get your downloads to then come through and do the work? Whichever way you're doing it, ask yourself, whatever price that you have next to it, are you valuing yourself? Do you trust in your economic birthright? Do you trust that whomever is supposed to be there will be there? Do you trust that? Because I'm asking myself that as well. It took me 5 years to recognize, like, I shouldn't have charged $10. I should have really sat with myself and asked myself, what am I actually contributing to this community? And that exchange, you know what I mean? Like, money is energy. It's a spiritual exchange, right? If I'm saying, oh, okay, just $10, like, I'm putting out that energy for y'all to treat, like, not to value me and my work that way. So it stems from me. We are the problem, and you're the problem. We're the problem. But there's grace, there's prayer, there's redirection, there's realignment. There's always a moment and opportunity to steer, right? Take a UE if you need to, or take a pause if you need to, lay down if you need to, take a walk if you need to, go to a cafe and work on some poems if you need to. Just take a moment and take a pause and just be really intentional with yourself, and just really make sure that you're treating yourself well and you're valuing yourself well. And of course, there's no actual dollar amount that can translate to your worth. However, as money is energy, you understand you gotta eat, you gotta sustain yourself, you gotta sustain this vision. And capitalism does not make it easy to be a creative or to be an entrepreneur, especially if you are a creative entrepreneur with a passion project as a business. It's like failure already has been planned for you, so you have to fight every day. Every day you gotta fight. So if you resonate with this, let me know. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like, comment, let me know. Please let me know what resonates with you. Let's start having a conversation. Let's start building that space here, because I feel like entrepreneurship and being a writer can be so isolating, and I just want to create this opportunity for us to start talking and convening and sharing space. All right, fam. See y'all next time.